There we go. All right. Good morning, traders, trading clan, people from all over the world. We have an interesting one today. Give folks a second to join this morning. Dallin, what's up, man? Using a regular camera today because I am. Good morning, man. Let's see. Oh, I should open up Discord, huh? Let's see if I can get Discord open. I can talk to my people. Okay. Let me add this person. All right, cool. Let's get after it. Let's get active. OG Trade, if you want to post that link in free chat as well. I saw you put it on the trading floor. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the help, y'all. Stretched thin. A lot of my employees and stuff are out this week, so it's been a crazy week. We got Dallin, we got OG, we got Shane. We've got the main squad. We've got the heavy hitters. So last night, we came down and hit my price target one lower that I marked out yesterday. Coincidentally enough. So very, 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 very delayed kind of thesis. So the market essentially on the daily, right? Let's open up my plan from yesterday so we can reference this. This is what journaling is important. This is actually a really, really good example of the importance of planning and how this data becomes really, really useful. So yesterday, when I was marking out these targets, I talked about the fact that we had this high volume daily close, okay? High volume down candle on Wednesday, okay, which was likely to cycle us lower, all right? We didn't have an immediate cycle lower, right? We had an up day, but then we came down and we hit my PT1 basically down to the penny. What's up, Paulo? Down to the penny. So that delay, okay, in movement is noteworthy. It's super duper noteworthy. It's the reason why having a journal, right, and tracking your daily plan over time can be really, really useful as a trader. Okay, we can see how if I had just held short, right, my price target would have gotten hit if I just held it through the day, right? Now, what's interesting about this is ES has already broken structure, right? So NQ had held that trend line, but ES had already broken structure. That divergence there made me very, very uncertain yesterday, guys. It made me very, very uncertain. I literally was thinking all day. I was like, this has to go lower. Like, even though I was wrong, I was like, I feel like it's like, it was almost like bothering me. Like, I'll just be honest. I was like, why would we have such a high volume candle at this edge, you know, without cycling lower? So we just had that delayed cycling lower and a massive bounce off of this price target one lower. Okay, 59.32.25. Massive bounce off of it. So tapped it to the penny. If we take a look at NQ here, let's go to NQ, right? Look at that. It's like penny perfect PT1 lower on NQ as well. Okay, so the auction, the levels based off of VP work. Both of these levels got tapped, guys. I'll just put them up side by side. You can look at how we set them up yesterday on stream. They got touched to the penny, okay, to the penny, I mean, look at it. It's on the screen right now. I know I'm saying it. To the penny. So the lesson that I learned there is, again, when I'm taking trades off the daily, I just need to hold. Okay. I didn't want to. Why didn't I hold? And let's just start writing this down. So let's write down some of the mistakes that we made. Okay, let's review. Let's review what happened. And I already wrote down the one failed trade, right? So coming back, right? Both tickers came down to the PT1 target, to the penny after being delayed by a day. The lesson here, well, let's just talk about why. Why did I get shaken out? A few reasons. Okay, so the first one, we're uptrending. So I don't really, the thing in my mind is it's really hard for me to hold shorts knowing we're in an uptrend. And so the lesson here with this cycle of trades is that, you know, need to trust that in an uptrend, this candle is still going to get the reaction that we expect, especially being at an edge, and just expect a delayed reaction. So we're uptrending, so expect a delayed reaction to signal candles that are counter trend. Okay, especially on higher time frames. Right now, the delay was only a day. Okay, whoops, what the hell? The delay was only a day. Okay. AB was good. Neek was good. Click 56 was good. So we had a delayed reaction. Okay, hit both of the PT ones lower down to the penny. But I got in off the previous day POC touch and took it to the lower price target. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I was busy in the afternoon. I did not reach short. I should have, but I was super busy in the business yesterday, so that was annoying. But nonetheless, that's what happened. So got shaken out of that one. Okay, came down to the price target one. We've had a nice bounce. So let's go ahead and go to today. Oh, yeah, the delay was only for a day. The second reason for getting shaken out, personally, is just real life distractions. Okay, right? So I'm not going to go into the details of that, but this is the type of stuff that you should write down in your journals. Okay, guys? I had a less than optimal day yesterday. I was kind of annoyed with my performance. Okay, I had a very, very small green day. Had a perfect entry on the long. If we go down to the 1 hour, the pre-CPI long, right, would have been a great entry. I cut that, tried to reshort, if you guys remember, for that cycle lower. Cycle lower never came. We just went higher yesterday, right? This popped up through here. So that was a little frustrating. And then my thesis, you know, played out on the macro there, and now we're coming up higher. I do think we're still uptrending, though. I want that to be very, very clear. My thesis for this down move is price target lower, and because it's on stream, you guys can all look at this, it's in the notes, is that we would do a deeper cut, right, and create a new higher low area. Okay, that was really my thesis here. It's not a perfect trend line. That was even if we come down to PT2, I still think we're uptrending until really we come down and retest this gap. I think we're uptrending. Or if we get a down candle, like if we get like straight up engulfing down candles with volume, to where it looks like we're actually moving down, but a down candles with bottom wicks, okay, in an uptrend, does not make me think that we've swapped trend. This makes me think that we're grabbing liquidity on the daily time frame. That makes sense. Okay, so let's go to the today, right? We can all do this together, and let's do our daily planning for today. Okay, I'm not stretched yet. I did do these two things. I got to go do that. Busy morning. And let's get this out of here. Woke up this morning, and one of the first things I did was smack my head on something. Can I count that as one of the 3 wins? Yeah, man. I mean, add it to your thing. Okay. Let's put slamming the absolute shit out of my noggin on something. And go ahead and check that off. So, beat the system. Beat the system, brother. Do not let the system beat you. So let's go to the weekly time frame. We're just going to notate actually both charts here on the daily. Okay. Copy image, macro analysis. Go to the 1 week, and let's see what we have here. Oh, also important update. I will not be doing the MFF stream anymore. Change in strategy. I am going to stream still. So after this stream, I'm gonna whip up something magical for you in the studio for all you guys. And we're gonna do a little day trading show. Brother Soul, of course, will be on it. He doesn't know this yet. I haven't told him. But that's gonna be the next wave of streaming. So we're gonna have the VPE show coming in hot. Yes, sir. This was always the plan. But no, it was good. It was good. Let's be a nice. We'll probably do a shorter stream, not for that amount of time. But no, it's gonna be good. And then I really want to use the studio. I'm sitting here at my desk, but I want to do a true show, just because of the $1 million studio that I have. Right, we could do something really cool. So we're gonna make that happen. And I'm gonna start building that out. But yes, sir. Tired of the ICT guests. Here's the thing, guys. Those of you who know me know that I'm very, very non-judgmental and patient. So I don't mind the different systems that people trade. Like, I have met a few. I would say this. I was way more against it until I spoke to some traders. From what I've seen, ICT for some people is, when they say they're ICT traders, they just trade like gaps, or they take pieces from it. So, do I think ICT is still a load of crap? Absolutely. But that's why people don't, you have people who trade ICT who are, failing, and you have people who say they trade ICT who actually are kind of doing their own thing. So it's whatever. Let's let people live sometimes, Let them live. It's something I'm working on. Trying to do better at just letting people live, not being so judgmental, Dogma is bad for your health. Anyway, so on the weekly, okay, we're still above last week's low, which is important. Okay, we're still uptrending. This is really, really important. Some people, as soon as we start moving down, like, oh, we're swapping trend. Look what happened in this uptrend. In this uptrend on the weekly, we had a red candle here, we had a red candle here, we had a red candle here. So we know the market is telling us that we're allowed to have down weeks in our uptrend. Okay, I'll say that again. We are allowed to have down weeks in our uptrend. So do not think that this is, without more information, that this is enough for us to be swapping trend. If this closed as a high volume red doji on the weekly, a signal candle in the VPE system, then yes, absolutely, I would think this is swapping. So we are still uptrending until proven otherwise. Okay, so just think we grab some liquidity there. The last guess was the last straw. I was like, what does this do? I was even on the show. Hey man, I found you from MF and like you're trading. I'm trading a lot from revenge trading. I have a strategy and I know my strategy, but I just can't stop myself. Have you ever experienced this? If so, what did you do to change? Yeah, man. I mean, revenge trading comes from this idea or this feeling that you can fix the day. Okay, that a prior trade and the results from a prior trade can be fixed with another trade. That moment and that trade is gone forever. Okay, so every candlestick in the market is the market dealing you a set of cards. Okay, I hope you'll play poker because I'm about to give you a poker analogy. So every candle that closes is the market dealing you a set of cards. I want you to imagine this with me. I want all of you to imagine you're sitting at a poker table, candle closes, you've been dealt some cards. Okay, it would be silly of you to just take the same bet no matter what, right? Even though you're getting dealt different cards every time a candle closes, right? And that's what revenge trading is you're trying to, and some of you like will even double up, right? You'll double up on the next bet, even though you've been dealt a different hand, okay? Regardless of what that hand is. And most hands in poker are shit, okay? So knowing that, you have to be able to, as a trader, understand that once a thesis has failed, your job as a trader is to wait for the next absolutely amazing setup. Okay, that's your goal as a trader. So you just have to be patient. The name of the game is patience. Let me fix this view here so you guys can actually see what I'm writing. There's a ton of other tools that you can use. One of the best things that I think is making things tangible, which is why I write things down. So have the post-it note system is something I talk about. So get a bunch of post-it notes, maybe 3 to 5, however many trades you want to take in a day, right? Let's just say it's 5. I'll be generous. It should be lower, but when you're a newer trader, you're going to end up taking more trades. 5 trades max per day, okay? When you take a trade, you take one of the post-it notes off your desk, so you put your post-it notes out on your desk. Once you've taken one trade, you crumple it up, you throw it away. Once you're out of post-its, you're out of trades. Okay, give it a shot. Let me know how it goes. So let's go to the daily. So daily, we had that penny perfect touch of the levels we called out yesterday. Again, just delayed. Okay, we already have that here. So on the weekly, we're still above last week's low. Still uptrending until proven otherwise. And we bounced off of the PT1 below on the daily, which we already have here. Let me get this. Yeah. We'll just do it like this. Wait, where's my mouse at? What is going on? On the daily, okay, bounce off that level and immediately flew through the low value area, okay? And with Notion, we can do one of these. Just, there we go. All right, so we did that on the daily. So let's mark out this low value area on both of these charts, okay? You can see here, lower value. Okay, so the volume profile shows us where people are positioned. There are literally less people positioned here, so we ripped through it. After touching the price target lower, we ripped through it, right? Immediately back and got sucked into the participation that's higher. So we're still uptrending. Okay, very, very strong reaction. We created a lower high, or created a higher low, created a higher low on both the weekly and the daily, okay? So it is Friday as well. This is something that I just want to mark here, okay? If we just characterize the market, this is something that I teach in my course, is just generally describe what's happening in the market. Don't even call it TA. But if we just characterize the market, what are some characteristics? Okay, it's Friday. And these are basically like captain obvious things. Okay, you want these. This is important to call out because it stops you from doing really stupid stuff. Okay, it's Friday. The weekly candle is closing, and we had CPI and PPI already this week. There's some stuff with with Iran, and the VIX popped up overnight. Okay, so let's take a look at the VIX really quickly. Go to the VIX. So the VIX came off of the 17 pivot, okay, popped up higher, back all the way up to like 22 overnight. So very, very strong bounce on the VIX there overnight. So we got our Captain Obvious stuff called out. And the obvious thing, if we're uptrending, right, if this is the low, if this was the absolute low of the day, would just be hold along for all-time highs, basically, right? So we got our deep cut on the weekly, okay? Our weekly is going to form a doji candle. The question is, are we going to close a high volume doji or a lower volume doji? If we close a high volume doji on the weekly, I'm going short, I'm swinging short. If we don't, then I am going to go long. If this swaps to green, right, if we have an up day and we have a high volume green doji at the highs, still a signal candle, okay, but again, it is a signal candle in the wrong direction. So we'll probably get an opening on settlement next week a little bit lower and then continuation higher. Okay, so nonetheless, we still have like this doji shape at the highs unless we have a very, 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 very bullish day and it swaps from a doji to just a hammer candle. Okay, is that possible? Sure it is. Do we have any data today? Honestly, don't know. I haven't looked yet. Let's take a look, and no. The answer is no. Or actually, at 10 we have. I lied, guys. At 10 a.m. we have preliminary consumer sentiment. Okay, 10 a.m. Let's go to the 4-hour, both tickers. Take a look here. Go ahead, take a look. Appreciate that analogy. Thank you. I'll try and post it. Notes. Cool, man. Thank you. Random. I know you're still going through the analysis, but what do you use it as a tag and notion for the overnight price action or today's daily plan? Sure. So today, the tag that I would put in here is weekly close. I'm trying to think of the one that I use in my other one. Weekly close, then uptrend. Right, I'd still put uptrending. Okay, and then possible weekly pivot. What I would do is at the end of the day, depending on how the candle forms, I want to notate how the weekly. So I either do like a weekly doji, pivot point, something like that. The other tag that I use is failed thesis. So I would probably put that on today and yesterday, right? Just because I had a failed thesis yesterday. And the idea here is that when I come back, regardless of my performance today, I want to know that I'm trading around some previous failed thesis. This is just useful. So let's assume that I have another bad day, right? And if I see that I had a missed trade yesterday, and then today was the day after, I would essentially I'm on tilt, right? So that's just an easy way to know that you're tilting. So those are the types of tags that I like to put in here. On the micro, let us welcome Abhishek, by the way, and AB. What's good? What's good? I had a childhood where being wrong was the worst thing to be, and although I knew that I didn't know how it would show up in trading, for me it showed up as over trading or revenge trading. Yeah, trading will force you basically to do a ton of self-therapy, right? You'll have to figure that out. So I feel you there. Successful thesis or failed thesis, like thanks. Yep. Abhishek, what's up? I think I already said it. What's up? Okay, on the micro, 4-hour is the micro for me. Okay. We've already bounced off our PT1 lower that we called out yesterday, and we've had a pretty significant bounce. So unfortunately, I did not have a resting limit buy there, which is really annoying. That's a gnarly long. Also frustrating is I missed all this downside. Okay, we had 500 points down and 200 up. That's like 700 points of EV since last night. Okay, that's pretty crazy, guys. Right, that is pretty freaking gnarly. Right now, what I'm looking for on this time frame is what happens when we come back up to this level here. Okay, so on ES, we basically have this 6,000 node, which we've already tested. Okay, and then on NQ, we have this level here. So both ES and NQ have the node above that was previous support. What happens as we come into the open and approach this level? Okay, option A is we punch into it and traverse this node, giving us a very bullish V reversal. Let's call it a V recovery, use terminology most people use. Option B is it fails pretty heavily, okay, rejects, and we start to build a ton of volume lower on the 4 hour. So we start to build volume lower on the 4 hour here, which would look like we can add our session VP. It's a little higher time frame. So let's go to the 1 hour. Go to the 1 hour on both tickers here. Let's just do NQ for a second. And let's let this populate. These levels are spread out very evenly, which is interesting, a coincidence. Usually not like that. So there's a value being built here already. You see that we dropped off a cliff. We have a D-shaped node here, okay, in the morning. So most likely we're going to traverse this, right, unless we continue with some very strong up candles here into the open. It's 8 a.m. right now. But you can see that we, after coming down lower, skinny belly, okay. Yesterday was all skinny belly here. Okay, P-shape, we had a P-shape volume profile. Let's mark this out. P-shape VP, closing under the prior day, okay. That was what happened yesterday. P-shape volume profile. POC closed lower than the previous day. We did retest that price though. So we tested previous day POC, came off D-shaped VP overnight, right? A lot of value got built here, and now we're moving higher. So the question is, okay, if we check the 2 hour, you can see that we had some big bottom wicks here. Okay, big bottom wick after touching this level, another bottom wick, and it's moving higher. Are we just going to V recover here, or is this going to, again, come down and range a little bit more, do a higher low, and then go higher? It is Friday, okay? It's the end of the week, so we got to think about what makes sense. Right now we have a red doji on the weekly, okay? What I'm really curious is how we're going to get away from this magnet here to reshape the weekly or not, okay? So I know I'm looking at the 1 hour, but I'm thinking about the higher time frames. So this is the 4 hour here, the 1 hour, okay? We formed a D shape after coming off, okay? Yesterday was a P shape that closed lower than the prior day POC. We ripped through the skinny belly down to PT1 lower and then formed that normal distribution, okay, overnight, okay? Question of the day is, do we reshape our weekly candle today or nah? Okay, that's the question of the day. Take a look at ES real quick. I have a big sports background and I've never taken losing well, so trading is a total character shift for me. Yeah, man. I mean, it could be tough, bro. I mean, You just got to get used to losing. You just got to get used to losing. You know, every successful trader, like 7-figure trader that I know or have met or read about, has had exceptional losses. It's just part of the journey. The thing with trading too, though, and do not take this the wrong way, is you can make a shit ton of money at once if you're just cool with not making any money for a while. Okay, but you have to be cool with not making any money for a while and just learning. But there's a ton of asymmetric opportunity in the market, and you only need one. Okay, for example, today I could hit a 20x return on 500 bucks. Okay, and make 10 G's. It's totally possible. On any given day, you could do that, maybe, or you could lose 500 bucks, right, or 20 G's. Goes both ways. So the point, but the thing is that you have to do as a trader is you have to hunt and actually create edge to be able to do that, with a positive win rate and a profit factor. But once you find some asymmetric opportunities, you can go 2 months not making $1, and then in the next month, you make 100K. So that's what winning looks like as a trader. Can I touch on yesterday's consolidation from 10 a.m. to close? Is there more to read into that or something to note for future, really after 11 a.m. hourly candle? From 10 a.m. to close? Yeah, I mean, the simple answer there is we already swept the prior day lows. It's very unlikely we sweep the prior day highs, right? Also, there's a ton of people here, right? So we came up, came into the liquidity, and that was the move. The market is very unlikely to rip exceptionally across an entire day, unless we have like a very strong V recovery, right? The market burned up too much of its time. If you look at the overnight, right, there was all of this, right? If this thing was, I mean, I guess it could have, but really just got to keep in mind, like, prior day lows were off the table. The odds of us sweeping both sides are very low. Once we come up to this POC here, it's either going to immediately reject, right, before going higher, or consolidate, right? So we just got all that little chop there. That's all. And then also on the daily, okay, we had that high volume doji, right? Signaling that it did want to cycle lower. So I don't know if you were on at the very beginning of this. We had that delayed cycle lower, but we did get it down to our PT1, right? On both tickers. Again, like to the penny, okay? PT1 was hit. Okay, ES technically I was off by what? 3 points on a, however many points move. 500-point move on NQ. I got it to the penny. Look how good that is, guys. This is why this shit works. To the penny. Anyways, what was I saying? That's really it. So my action plan for today, and then I got to run here in a second. I'm getting wheels put on my car today, which I'm going to go record. What's my risk model? I don't know exactly what you mean from that question. So I hunt for the edges. The VPE system, okay, I'm a VPE trader, is really looking for the low and the high of the day, right? Every day, right? That's why I look for overnight low, overnight high, prior day low, prior day high for my entries. So if I would have longed, or logging these edges of the volume profile. So had I longed my PT1, right, which I didn't, it's an unfortunate gaffe. I could have had a stop of like 10 points, right? And my R on that is like a gajillion, right? I would have risked 2 to make, whatever. That's why when I talk about RR in my system, it's just so irrelevant, because the R on my trades is like, it's always ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I often trade without stops, right? So that's kind of how I think about it. Yo, good morning. What's up, Mike EXT? we're probably going to end up recovering this. What do you think? We're still in uptrend. So right now we have this overnight D shape VP. So we'll probably come down to at least POC here, right? POC on ES is lower. Okay, so we'll probably do something like this before going higher. But on the weekly, this is really important, we're still uptrending. So today might not be too crazy. It might be crazy. I really want to see what happens around 10 a.m. We do have that data at 10. But again, we're allowed to have down candles on the weekly, guys. Okay, this is really, really important. Since we hit this low here, we've had 1, 2, 3, and possibly this will be our 4th red week inside of our uptrend. Okay, what's really, really important about this is that we're still doing higher lows. This was a deep cut back here, had an up week, okay, but we have higher lows here the entire way. So until we crack this higher low situation on the weekly, I'm just not convinced. Or if this closes as a very high volume red doji, then I would consider it. Basically holding a short down to 57.34 or whatever really that same gap on NQ. So that's really what I'm thinking. But yeah, I don't know if we're going to recover it today, but I'm still uptrend biased until proven otherwise. Let's go back to the 1 hour here. So action plan for today. Let's see. I want to see if we break into the node above and traverse it so I can hold long for all-time highs, or take a range trade yeah, so I mean, that's not really a day trade thing. That's just a thought of mine. In terms of day trades today, guys, after 10 a.m. data, I'll be looking for either a D-shape range play or a break in structure to ride out the closure of the weekly candle. Okay, that's really what I'm thinking here. Playing off the 4 key levels. Okay, I'll mark these up really quickly. They're the same. If you're new here, you're probably like, what 4 key levels? Okay, there's only 4 prices that I care about on any given day. Okay, which is overnight low, which is already marked as a price target 1 lower, overnight high, which is already marked as well, 21,975, prior day low, which already got taken out. Prior day high is the same level. I guess overnight high also is, you could consider it right here for the current overnight, but technically all of our levels are already marked. Okay, we're just ranging off of the macro VP. So I'll zoom out here again so you can see this, right? We bounced nicely off of this auction of people. The reason that this happens again is there are a bunch of people sitting here that are positioned here. Once the price comes to them, they are taking action, forcing the market higher, and it's ripping through this low value area where there's no participation. Okay, makes sense. Cool. If you want more information on any of this, by the way, check out the links, which I think are somewhere in either the description of the stream, maybe. I don't know. I didn't really put too much effort into putting my normal links there. But you can join the Discord. Okay. Everybody in our Discord trades the same system. We trade volume profile edges. And we have a course and all that. Have some changes coming to that as well. And a coaching program, which I haven't done in a while. I'll do one maybe later this year, but I don't have time for that. Are you more of a continuation or reversal kind of trader, entry-wise? Neither. I trade the edges. So every given day, I am looking for high of the day or the low of the day. And I would say I'm a mean reversion trader. If I had to describe my trading style, is I'm looking for mean reversions. And so an example of that would be taking a long here, okay, off of this macro shelf. There's a bunch of people here holding this long, and then I would hold this to the next edge. The next obvious edge is 21,984. So I just hold for node traversals, or I'll just find a good swing entry and I'll just hold a trade, right, for a couple of days until a pivot, things like that. Same with options. But I'm not necessarily a reversal. I don't try to catch a reversal. You could say that because I am looking for the higher, the lower of the day. You could possibly describe it that, but I don't necessarily call it reversal because I don't try to knife catch and things like that, right? And I'm certainly not a breakout trader. I will trade an established trend, but breakout trading will get you smoked. So we'll caught that long after the drop. Very nice. Very, very nice. Cool, guys. So fill out your journals, okay? Overnight high, overnight low, prior day high, prior day low. Those are the 4 things that we're looking for. I will be, again, today, not on the MFF stream, going to get some wheels installed, and then in the future, I'll be doing my own stream as well with Brother Soul. We're going to whip something up magical for you all. Any last minute questions before I jet on out of here? If you need the template to this, okay, this is a template that I created. This isn't just mine, okay? Go to the link stan.store/trading with Forrest. There's a link to this challenge, okay? I'll just share it with you all as well here in the chat. Make it easy for you. Here is a direct link to it, okay? Modify it, use it for yourself. I think this template has whatever I've written in it, so you might have to erase it, the stuff here. The calendar view here also has a table view. It's like a database, so you can delete these if you want to. Yeah, fill this out for yourself. Go deeper with it, stay lightweight. Doesn't really matter. The goal is to spend time planning every single day. You're welcome, AB. All right, y'all. Have an amazing, blessed day. All of you have what it takes to be a successful trader. Like the stream if possible before you jump. Help a brother out. Share it. Let people know that are traders that I'll be here every day, 7:30 a.m. And I will see you all later.